cabelo no devo no olhar, essa menina por todo lugar. Então me ilumina, me diz como é que termina na hora de recomeçar. Dobra uma esquina no mesmo lugar, costura o fio da vida só pra poder cortar. Depois se larga no mundo pra nunca mais voltar. Ô mãe, me explica, me ensina, me diz o que
Miltinho, he was not very known outside Brazil, actually not even in Brazil very much, but anyway, he was a very important singer for me when I was a teenager. I listened, first of all, João Gilberto. João Gilberto was my first big love in music. But then I expanded a little bit my tastes, and Miltinho was a swinging singer. So he sang for ballroom dances and stuff like that. And he was a master on swinging and rhythm. So I heard a lot to him, and as well Elza Soares, which I don't know if she's here, but I heard them a lot. I lived, since I was born, in a very musical family. And my house was a very musical house. My older brother, 13 years my senior, he was a guitar player, and he kind of introduced me to music since I was a child. But also my mother loved music, and everybody in my family loved music, although they were not professional, but they loved it. So I always heard a lot of music at home. It was a very important thing in our life. So I think Rio also is a very musical city. So I could listen to music all the time, everywhere. And that also helped create the environment for me to become a musician. Do we have here? Johnny Alf. So you asked me what was my first, the first album that I bought with my own money. It was an album of this man. It was not this album, but the very first album that he did. I was 14 years old, and I won a sports lottery at home. It was the World Cup in Chile. and at school, they made sort of a lottery that if you guessed the finals, the result of the finals, you would get the whole money that everybody had put there. So I won. And what I did with this fortune was buy an LP by Johnny Alf. This man is something. He must be heard, definitely. He came to Japan with me in 2002. He came with us as my special guest, and I guess this was his very last international trip, because he was already sick, but he was a genius, this man. He should be heard. Yeah, look at that. This is where the whole new Brazilian music begins, with this man.
What was his influence on you?
99.9%, I would say. Not only for me, for my whole generation. It's like it's a big tree, you know. It's like jazz. Jazz has the blues, the roots in music, and we have the samba. And then there is choro music, which pretty much connects with ragtime music. And then there's jazz that connects with bossa nova, cool jazz, and all that. And Jobim he also was very much influenced by classical music, especially the Impressionists like Debussy, Ravel. But he created something on his own, and he's like a big, big branch from this Brazilian music tree, and we all are small branches from his branch, you know. So the people from Minas created Clube de Esquina style. The people from Bahia created Tropicalia style. Us in Rio, by our side, we tried to continue his tradition and make this, you know, our own development of his music. So at the end, we're all Jobim children. Many memories from him. Not especially related to work, although I did participate on his TV special. He invited me to participate on his, when he turned 60 years old, they made a big TV special, and I took part in it. But my fondest memories of him were at his home, because he was a very generous man, and I was very close. I was friends with his son, Paulo Jobim, who was also a great musician. And we all had this camaraderie, if you can say so. We had a gang, a musical gang, that would go to his place and listen to him and talk to him and get advice and hear from him a lot. So the house was a two-store house, and we, the gang, the youngsters, we used to reunite upstairs, but we were allowed to go upstairs too with the seniors, and then it was great. It was the piano was there, and he was always sitting on the piano. His wife was super generous, his first wife, Teresa, and then she would bring some treats for us to eat and stuff like that. So it was a wonderful time. I was like, what, 19, 20 years old. It was a very nice experience. I have this great album. Chet Baker sings. Yeah. The voice of cool jazz. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Amazing. Love that. Love that. It's, yeah, great album. Time after time. I get along without you very well. My funny Valentine, all that. There will never be another you. All that. I fall in love too easily. I fall in love too fast. Beautiful. Oh, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And of course, this one. Where is Astrud Gilberto's name on this album? She made this album happen. It happened because of her. It's incredible. It doesn't even have a feature with her name. It's amazing. June Christie, that's the album, Something Cool. Ah, this is amazing. I love this album. This album was a huge, huge influence for me. Huge, huge. I was crazy about it. I was crazy about this album. And this woman was, and then there is the prejudice, of course, that she was a white woman from California and was not very much accepted in the jazz scene, but she was an amazing jazz singer, amazing. She sang with, she started, I think, with the Stan Kenton band, so she was used to sing with big bands. So here this arrangements by Pete Rugolo, I don't know how to spell the name, but it's amazing. And the song Something Cool, it's a great song. It sounds, later when I understood the lyrics properly, when I got a little older, It's like a Tennessee Williams play, you know. It's amazing. It's a woman telling her story. And it's amazing. And she is so perfect. She's a wonderful singer. I love that. Oh, I love this album. It's very rare. Very, very rare. A wonderful album. Yeah. I own quite a lot. I donated my big LP collection when I moved from my house to an apartment. We had to shorten our collection, and I had a big one, and I donated it to Museu da Imagem do Som. So it's part of it is there, but the essentials we kept.
How many?
And I don't know in numbers, but I do have quite a lot. I counted the CDs though, because I still listen a lot to CDs, and I like them because they have all the information and they take less space than the vinyls. So the vinyls have their place, and the CDs we have like 2,000 or something, but at home. But you know, so much music. I don't like this experience of listening to music with those platforms that you don't have any information of who's playing, of the dates, of anything. You don't have that. So that kind of bothers me a lot. I see you have good collector and that. Yeah. This one is a favorite for me. I love this one. So I think this one is almost a perfect album. It's a great album. Great.
Okay, so do you enjoy coffee?
Yes, I do. Very much. Especially with some sweets around, then it's good. When I was like 16 years old or so, there's this great Brazilian musician called Roberto Menescal. He came many times to Japan. He's very well known in the music environment here. And he was friends with my older brother. And he was working with publicity, so advertising. So he heard me sing at home, and he invited me for a recording session that he was producing. He formed a small vocal quartet. So that was my first studio experience. And after that, on and off, he called me to sing on some of his jingles, advertising jingles. And one of them was about coffee. It was very funny. It was myself and the four singers of Quarteto em Si, vocal quartet that was quite famous by then. So, but I was 16, so that was a very, to start with, you know, a beginning thing. But then we sang this thing. It was for promoting coffee. It was in Spanish. So we were supposed to, with that song, we were supposed to be helping promote Brazilian coffee in other Latin America countries. So it was something like, El buen café se conoce en la taza. Buen café es café do Brasil. And then open chords. It was very nice. It's almost a second home. It's like family. I feel very comfortable when I arrive here. I've been here, I think, if not 40 times, around 40 times. And I get very ashamed and embarrassed that I can't speak fluently Japanese. I tried to learn, but I didn't have time to pursue the course, so I had to stop. But of course, I understand a few things, and I really love this country very, very much, and its people and everything about it. One place that I really would like to go back is Fukuoka. It's a sweet place, it's a beautiful place. I even went to the beach to swim there. It was very nice. I always had a lot of fun. I wrote a song with my friend João Donato when we were performing there in the dressing room and at Blue Note Fukuoka. It was funny, and it was Ikimashou Fukuoka.
E vamos lá, e vamos lá, e vamos lá, e vamos lá. Ikimashou, Ikimashou, Fukuoka, Fukuoka. Thank you.
I find interesting that there are record shops. That's the most interesting thing, because in Rio, for example, you don't find record shops anymore. If you go to New York, no record shops. If you go to Paris, there is one record shop, FNAC, and maybe a small little places where you can find, but very alternative, very indie record shops. And so the big record shops is something that you don't find anymore. And I think it's a loss for humanity, you know. I think it's very important to have that. I like to have the physical thing, the physical album with all the information, with everything in it. I think it's part of the package. Well, I would say this one, Feminina. I think it still is perhaps the most important album in my career, because, I mean, this one is the very first one. I made this album with songs that I wrote between 18 and 20 years old and recorded this album. I had many important friends helping me do it. It was very nice. But on this one is where I really took possession of my own work, took control of everything. So I wrote all the songs, I played guitar in all tracks, I made the basic arrangements, I sing in all of them, I did also the backing vocals. I mean, almost all the lyrics are mine. I have a couple of tracks where I have a lyricist, but all the other ones, I wrote the lyrics too. So I did everything for this album. I feel like I was the final producer of it. So I had total control of what was going on here. I chose all the musicians. I took all the important decisions. So it was the first time I was able to do this, and I keep doing this. When it comes to music, I never would like to have to give up the ability to play the guitar, and of course to sing. It's my instruments are here and here, so of course there is here too, but and the heart, of course. But if I can keep just doing what I do, I'm happy. Right now, I don't know. I'm still in process of writing new music. During these times of the pandemic, I managed to make a new album, that Brasileiras Canções, that came out last year. Also, I made a couple of singles with Marcos Valle, and that was things that we made eventually, you know, because there were new songs, we wanted to give them to the world to listen. But anyway, right now I'm still, it takes some time, you know, to make a new album with new songs. When you write the songs, you need some time, first of all, to gather enough material, and then when you finally have enough material, it's like preparing a bouquet of flowers, you know? You have to match one song to the other. I mean, I'm still thinking. It's a very 20th century way of thinking. I'm still thinking about a whole album with 10 songs, 12 songs. And it's not anymore like that. Everything goes so fast. People do one track and it's gone. So it has changed a lot, and I still have to understand and adapt to that. Coffee for me is beginning a new day. And donuts, if you're talking about these donuts, it's my life, so that's all right.